Today we're going to be talking about compressor and everything in between. Understanding dynamic range is essential as it pertains to the variance between the quietest and the loudest part of a signal. A compressor is commonly used to reduce dynamic range by lowering the volume of the loud parts in relation to the quietest parts, which helps to even out the overall signal level. While compressing a signal reduces the overall volume, boosting the signal after compression results in a louder output. This is because compressor lowers the volume of loud parts relative to quiet parts and then raises the overall volume. Let's take a look at the typical controls found in a compressor and how to use them. For this demonstration, I'll be using one of my favorite compressor, the FabFilter Pro C2. I love this compressor because it has great sound quality. It's very versatile and the mastering is unmatched. To better understand what a compressor does, let's start with a tom drum track that I've created. However, if you have this compressor, fruity compressor, you can as well follow along. For this demonstration, I'm just going to use this. All right, so then let's get rid of this as we engage. You can observe that the tom drum hit alternates between quiet and loud. Currently, the compressor isn't doing anything because the threshold is set to 0 and the ratio is set to 1:1. The threshold is the point at which the compressor will start compressing. With the current setting, the compressor isn't doing anything yet. Let's lower the threshold so that the peaks of the signal reach it. Still, nothing is happening because we need to set the ratio. The ratio determines how much compression will occur when the signal level exceeds the threshold. If we set the ratio to 4:1, we start to see some action. The gain reduction meter tells us how much the compressor is actually reducing the signal level. The gray line shows the input and output signal level over time, while the red line shows the gain reduction over time. Maybe you are starting to see why I like this compressor so much, especially as a teaching tool for teaching what a compressor does. We will see more gain reduction anytime we lower the threshold or anytime we increase the ratio. Let's say I want to make the loud and quiet toms hit the same level. I will set the threshold to the peak of the quiet tom hit so that the quiet tom hit isn't reduced much at all. Then I will set the ratio as high as possible, effectively creating a brick wall limiter that doesn't let any sound pass the threshold. This is considered a limiter rather than a compressor because the ratio is greater than 10:1. Compressor makes things quieter, but makeup gain control can make up for the reduction by turning the overall signal level up. To make quiet tom hit louder without causing clipping or distortion, we use a compressor to turn down the loud hits and then use makeup gain to increase overall level. The attack knob determines how quickly the compressor starts working once the signal level hits the threshold. Compressor makes things quieter, but makeup gain control can make up for the reduction by turning the overall signal level up. Another thing is, it's possible that I can just use this makeup gain and increase it so that everything is loud instead of applying all these effects. But the issues with this one is that if I use this makeup gain, if I increase the overall volume here to make it hit really loud, what is going to happen is it's going to cause a distortion. So because we use compressor to control the loudest peak, all right, so that once everything balanced, can I use the gain knob to bring the entire body up while we use the threshold to set a ceiling. All right, so I hope you get the concept. The transient is the high amplitude short duration sound at the beginning of a waveform. The tonal part comes after the transient. The attack setting on a compressor controls how quickly it reduces the transient. The release knob determines how long it takes for the compressor to recover after compression. With the range of 10 to 2500 milliseconds on the FabFilter Pro C2, the hold adjustment prolongs gain reduction before the release begins. A fast release time will recover quickly, but a slow release time will take long to recover. The nail settings can be used to soften or harden the compression around the threshold. A softer nail gradually creates more gradual and transparent compression. Many plugins offer a wet-dry knob for parallel compression. The wet signal is the compressed output, while the dry signal is the input before compression. By blending these two signals, you can achieve a more realistic sound, preserving the transient of the dry signal while adding the thickness of the compressed wet signal. This technique is known as parallel compressor. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the like button. Watch the video on your screen right now to understand reverb.